So, welcome to the Digital Maddy Show with your host and host Miithyl, a show made exclusively for solopreneurs, artists, and coaches who wants to build their digital empire. With 15 plus years of business experience, I cover topics on personal branding, content creation, and digital marketing on the show and invite many experts who share the same passion like mine. Today, we have an amazing guest on our show, but before I bring him on to the platform, let me introduce him. Let me just first tell his name. So he is John Follis, and in the early 90s, John Follis co-founded a New York ad agency that became one of the most successful and an award-winning in US. As a result, he has written for Adweek and has been invited to address the World Business Academy and the Yale Entrepreneurial Institute, among the others. His digital experience began with his agency website in 1996. In 2006, he produced and hosted his podcast, The Marketing Show, which was followed by his blog, The Follis Marketing Report. In 2007, he coined the phrase G-Cred for Google credibility, which emphasized the value of creating digital content for any business, product, service, organization, as well as a person. His ebook, G-Cred, the new measure of credibility, soon followed. In 2012, he started creating animated explainer videos, and a year later, started the digital video company, The Big Idea Video. Recently, he's creating a digital video series entitled True Stories in Advertising, which chronicles his career, his crazy career adventures on Madison Avenue. So, without wasting much of our time, let's bring on to the platform none other than John Follis.
Hey, Miithyl. How are you?
I'm super cool and excited to have you here. And being marketing as one of my most favorite subject to talk, I'm excited to have one of the legends over here who have given an amazing platform of marketing to many people, many organizations. So it's an honor to have you onto the show.
Thank you. Honored to be
Awesome.
here.
Awesome, John. So, John, this is like one of the experience and opportunity for me to actually go inside your brain and try to ask questions related to marketing. So, let me just start with this particular question. How did you make it to having your own award-winning Madison Avenue ad agency?
A little bit of skill and a lot of luck, to be honest with you. My career did not start out very well, Miithyl. Even going back to college, the first advertising class that I took, I was doing so poorly in it that I ended up essentially flunking it and being told by the instructor that I didn't have the talent to pursue advertising, I should give it up. So I continued, despite getting that advice, I continued, eventually graduated, but my first few years in the business were not very successful. In fact, in the first 7 years of my career, I was fired 4 times. So at that point, I began to really wonder whether or not the instructor was right and I chose the wrong career. But that low point, Miithyl, in my career actually became a turning point, because what I decided to do at that point was to not leave the business, but pivot. And that's when I started switching gears. Instead of trying to get another staff job at a big agency, I decided to pursue getting project work and freelance work from smaller agencies, where what was more important to them was my talent and ability instead of my political skills, which is a very important asset to have when you're working for a big agency. And I just was not good at it, to be honest with you. So once I started pivoting and getting project work, I started becoming more successful. And some of the work that I did was getting seen and noticed, and eventually attracted a new business guy, an account guy who was very good at business development. And about 20 minutes after meeting for a beer, he suggested that we start an ad agency, which was I thought a little bit aggressive, but we did start working together, and within about 6 or 8 months, won a pretty significant piece of business that enabled us to officially start an ad agency. And because he was so amazing at attracting business and I was pretty good at doing the work, within, I would say, within 4 years, we became one of the most award-winning agencies in the entire country, which was pretty exciting.
This is an exciting story. Like, you were able to give the entire journey in a gist, but I'm sure that the experience and the entire journey would have been beautiful.
Right.
Awesome. So I could see, John, that since New York is one of the most competitive place to be, so what are the biggest challenges you faced having your own business, especially in a competitive place like New York?
Boy, I tell you, it was, you're right. You're absolutely right. New York is a very competitive, high, intense city. And I was actually, I grew up about 2 hours outside of the city, but I was afraid of New York. I avoided New York for the first 5 years of my career for that reason. I didn't think I was ready for it. And I kind of knew when I moved there that I would probably get my ass kicked, which I did. But I tell you, it really helps when you are able to collaborate with someone who can help you fight your battles. And as I just mentioned, it was a direct result of the partnership that I had developed with this guy who was really able to find small businesses who were looking for the kind of advertising that we did. So once I began collaborating with him, things became quite a bit easier because all of a sudden I didn't have to hustle myself, which is what I had been doing when I was trying to get project work. It's one thing being able to do the work and make your clients happy, but you also have to really be good at getting the work. And I was okay at it, but I was no expert. My skill set is creative and doing the work. So it was a real relief having someone and that doing that, and that really kind of made things easier for me. And it was just amazing how he was able to, on a continual basis, not just find clients, but find the right kind of clients. Because as you know, it's not all clients are good fits for what you do. And we really needed to find the client that was big enough to have the money, but not so big where he had a lot of people to please, where he was the final decision maker and he didn't have to worry about a lot of middle managers and other people's decisions, where he had the final say. And if he liked something that we did, he would just give it a thumbs up and go with it. So that's one reason why we were so successful so quickly, because we found not just clients, but really good, compatible business owners.
That's
So
awesome.
I don't know if that answered your question, but I guess again, finding someone to collaborate with you that can help you do the things that you're not good at, so you can work as a team.
True, John, because collaboration is, I think, the key. So in order to eliminate the competition, collaboration is something which will take us in a very long go, because competition will eventually hurt each other, but collaboration is which will take us a long way ahead. It's very
Right.
rightly
And
said,
that's
John.
not such an easy thing to find. I mean, a lot of people, as much as they may realize the importance of collaboration, it's kind of like, dating and getting married. You could date a lot of women, but to actually decide to marry one is a pretty big decision. And it really, sometimes like the saying goes, you have to kiss a lot of frogs before I don't know if you have that expression in India, but yeah, I think
Absolutely.
you understand what I'm saying, before you find
True,
someone that's a good fit.
true, John. I could get that effect. Awesome, John. So, John, I when you shared your entire backstory, and I could see that there were a lot, like in that entire journey, there were a lot of hustling. There was a lot of obstacles and many other things that you faced. So and you are an inspiration to many. So how were you be able to overcome all those rejections, John?
It was not easy. It really was not easy. And there were many dark evenings where I really had to struggle and try to convince myself that it really wasn't because of a lack of talent that I got fired, but a lack of political skills. And I think one thing that helped me, Miithyl, was I came across a book that talked about office politics. I can't remember the name of it, but one of the most important messages of the book was that 80% of firings from corporate situations are political executions, is the way they described it. So by hearing that, I think it took some of the pressure off of me and allowed me to continue with the hope that eventually my talent would be creative talent would be recognized if I was able to connect with the right people and right agencies.
So, John, I have also done a bit of research on your profile, and the one thing that hooked me up was that you got the opportunity, that you were honored both at the White House as well as the UN. So, can you give a bit of the how that thing actually happened?
Yeah, that was really, I'd say, certainly one of the highlights of my career, because not many people can say they've been honored at the White House and the United Nations, and that came as a result of some of the public service work that we did and that I was particularly involved with for child abuse prevention. And it started when I came up with an ad on my own that I thought was a pretty powerful message for child abuse awareness, and I shared it with my partner. And the other thing I should say is that my partner wasn't just good at new business, but my partner was the kind of guy who really valued and appreciated the kind of creative work I did. You know, there are a lot of guys who are good at new business and they're good at account management, but they don't necessarily like really out of the box or edgy creative work, which is what my style was. But my partner was exactly in sync with me regarding the kind of creative work I did. And when he saw this ad that I did, which is a pretty edgy creative ad, he got very excited about it and said, we've got to figure out an organization that we could present this ad to that might consider running it. And connected with the National Committee for the Prevention of Child Abuse, which is based in Chicago. We were in New York, but it just turned out that they were coming to New York for a meeting. So we had an opportunity, it was just totally coincidental, to actually meet them in person in New York during their visit and show them the ad. And one thing led to another, and we got a TV assignment to do a major national TV campaign that the NBA was going to run during their NBA playoff basketball games. It was equal to over $5 million worth of TV time, and this was 40 years ago. So that $5 million probably worth $10 million now. And that was during about 5 or 6 weeks during their playoff game. So the commercials, the campaign that we did, which was 3 commercials, ran like crazy during those 5-6 weeks. If you were watching basketball during that period of time, you could not miss these commercials. Now, I still don't know to this day how I actually got on the radar of the White House, but for all I know, it was the president who was watching basketball during that time and wanted to find out, like the commercials, and had one of his people find out who was behind those commercials. But all I know is that I got an invitation in the mail to be honored because of these commercials. And it wasn't just me, it was a couple of dozen people from around the country who were involved in various public service related causes. So not just me, but still certainly a big honor to be invited and get a photo opportunity with the First Lady at the White House. And then it was, I don't know, maybe 6 months later, that same cause, but a different ad, that I got another letter in the mail, this time from the United Nations, saying, we'd like to inform you that you are one of the first people to be honored with our very first United Nations Public Service Award. You know, please, can you come to receive your award? So the United Nations was about 14 blocks from where I live. So I hopped on my bicycle and rode to the United Nations to get my award, which was fun.
First of all, congratulations, John, for such amazing feats that you have achieved, and kudos to all the the behind the scene, being very creative and passing that entire the message through various medias is commendable. So congratulations once again, John.
Yeah, I should say the advertising business sometimes can be a very superficial business. When you're working for an agency, you are getting paid to work on whatever accounts they happen to have. So if it's Pop-Tarts or Coca-Cola or McDonald's or something that may not be the healthiest thing to eat, your job is not to question that. Your job is just to do the best job possible to sell it. So as a result of that, very early on my career, I think just as a way to compensate for that, on the side, I would try to spend as much time as I was able to give to various nonprofit causes that I thought were good.
Amazing, John. Amazing. Thank you so much, for doing such a wonderful job and transforming many people's life.
Thank you.
So, John, with this, we come to the end of the phase one of the interview. And in the phase two, all the audiences know that we have something called as a rapid fire round, where I ask 5 questions to my guest, a little lighter one, so that even everyone enjoys that too. And these 5 questions won't get you time to think. Whatever comes in your mind, you just have to share that. So are you
Great.
ready and excited?
I hope so.
Awesome. So let me just zoom a little bit and make it a bit intense. And with this, let me ask you the very first question. John, who do you admire the most?
Well, I would have to say, there are many people I admire, but I would say that the most positive influence on my life was my dad, because he was a business owner, and I think the values that he taught me as a person growing up are integrity, working hard, dedication, caring about other people. Those things are the values that have enabled me to have the success that I've had in my career.
Awesome, John. Second question. What is the one thing that you would like to add in your bucket list for 2022?
Well, I'm still working on trying to achieve one of my goals, which is to be a rock star.
Wow. Lovely.
My guitar
Let me
right
zoom
here.
out. Oh, awesome. That's a guitar, an acoustic guitar.
Yeah, it's never far from where I am. I've been playing since I was a kid.
Wow.
And now that I have the time to do whatever I want to do, I've been kind of working a little bit more on learning new songs and performing. And so one of my goals is to go to some local vineyards where there's some drunk baby boomers and start performing my classic rock songs.
Lovely, John. All right. So then, okay. So based on this passion that you have, what's your favorite song?
Anything by the Beatles pretty much is one of my favorites. It's I can't really pick one there, but anything by the Beatles, I would say.
All right, so let's, for the first time on Digital Maddy Show, we'll have someone who will be playing live. So would you
No,
be
no, 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 no.
would you like to just say a few maybe sentences of the song that you would wish to sing?
Okay, hold on a second.
So guys, this is unique and happening for the first time on the Digital Maddy Show, and we have none other than the rock star John Follis.
Oh boy. Okay. So I was not prepared for this. I'm not going to play the whole song, but
Sure.
see if you recognize it. Let's see, you got me all nervous now. I'll just stop there.
Wow. Thank you so much, John. And all the people who are listening to this particular episode, do share in the comment what was the song that he was playing. We won't reveal the song. Do share in the comments what was the song he was playing. Awesome.
And here's a fun fact about that. That was the first Beatles song that used the sitar.
Oh, lovely. Lovely. So now it becomes very easy for you to type the name of the song below. So we're done with 3 questions, 2 are left. So John, okay, this is one of my favorite. So can you describe yourself in 3 words? You come from an advertisement world.
Oh boy.
Can you share that?
Okay. Creative, irreverent, and caring.
CEC, lovely.
Yeah, that's right. Well, no, well, yeah, creative. Well, that's irreverent is with an I. CIC.
CIC. All right. Okay, so with that we come to the last question, and okay, so from New York, let me take you to LA. So if a movie was made on your life, what genre it would be, and who would play your role? I know the
man.
person in my head who would play your role, but I wish to know from you too.
Where do you come up with these questions? Who would play me in a movie? I have no freaking idea. I'll let you choose that. Okay, I have no idea.
Harrison Ford is someone I think who can resemble a much.
I would go with that. Thank you. That works.
And what genre it would be?
Well, good question. I don't know. I think it might include a little bit of everything. It might include some drama, some humor.
That's
Probably
a rom-com.
A rom-com.
Rom-com.
Okay. Well, whatever that is, that sounds good. Yeah.
It's romance and comedy. Rom-com.
Well, I don't know about the romance. I said humor, humor and drama. I don't know about the romance.
Then it's romedy.
Huh?
Then it's called as romedy.
Yeah. You keep sticking the R for romance. I never said anything about romance, but if you want it to be romance, we'll figure out a way to get some romance.
A person who plays a guitar always plays a vital role in the romance world. So that's why romance has to be a part.
It has come in handy in that sense. I have to admit.
Lovely. So John, thank you so much for participating in the rapid fire round. I truly enjoyed it, but these were 5 questions. There is one personal question that I would like to know from you is, how do you motivate yourself to be creative?
Miithyl, that has been one thing that has really never been difficult. Sometimes getting out of bed is difficult. There are a lot of things that are exercising occasionally is difficult, eating right. But as far as being creative, for me, that has been such a natural thing. That's never been a problem, fortunately.
Wow. Thank you so much, John, for being absolutely honest. And so now, John, all the people who are listening to this particular episode, if they want to connect with you and know more about you, your work, how can they do that?
Well, in my intro, you mentioned that I came up with a phrase called G-Cred for Google credibility, which emphasizes the value of having a lot of content online. So I wouldn't be a good guest if I didn't answer that question by saying you can just Google me, and you should see a lot of stuff. It may be general stuff. It may be mostly related. You know, might add the word advertising, but if you're interested in this video series that I created, which I had a lot of fun creating, and some of the stories included in that digital series cover some of the things we talked about on this podcast, getting invited to the White House. And it does show the work, the creative work I did that got me there. So for that reason, if any of your listeners and viewers are interested, once again, the title of that is True Stories in Advertising. So you could Google that along with my name just to make sure you get the right thing. And that's another way you could check out my content.
Awesome, John. So, John, we have come to the end of this entire episode. I sincerely do not want to end this, but still, we have the things that start has to end also. But before we end this episode, John, what is the one message you would like to give to our viewers?
Keep watching Miithyl's show, because I checked out your show, and anyone who is looking to grow their business and have success, I think would gain a lot of great information and wisdom from the kind of content you're creating.
Thank you
How's
so
that?
much, John, for the shout out. Thank you once again, John. It was an honor to have you, John, on the platform, and bow down to all the amazing work that you have done tremendously into the world of advertisements and also at many other avenues and places. Thank you so much, John.
My pleasure, Miithyl. Thank you, and keep up the great work.
Awesome. So you have just listened to the Digital Maddy Show with your host, Miithyl. Thank you so much for listening to our show and giving so much love. Don't forget to subscribe to our show on the podcast platform which you are listening. And if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. This is Miithyl signing off with John. At the moment, until next time, meet you soon with another guest and their exciting stories. But until then, keep rocking, stay safe, and don't forget to keep creating content. Ciao.